Hey guys, welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a bit of an update for a previous video I've been doing about the F1's silly season. And this one's going to be up to, well, really up to today. Start of the Singapore Grand Prix. And it's quite interesting because up to this point we've now got, 5 teams confirmed. Got the top 3, so Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull, with Ferrari just being confirmed with Leclerc earlier this week. If you want to look at my video about that, you can check that out in the description down below. Joining the confirmations of Red Bull and McLaren, and now we've also got, because of Kimi's deal, confirmation for all of the Sauber seats. Now what I'm going to do a little bit now is speculate about the rest of the grid, because it's very interesting. We've got 9 cars left, provided Race Point Force India, whatever they choose to rebrand themselves as, will carry into next season. So I'm going to start off by talking about the one that everybody's kind of speculated about at the moment, which is Toro Rosso. Now, Toro Rosso have got a few options that they could easily line up. They could use to keep Hartley, which would be pretty cool. However, I reckon even if they don't keep him, he's going to remain within the team to some degree, maybe as a simulator driver. Outside of that, Pascal Wehrlein looks interesting. He's just been dropped by Mercedes, which is quite interesting because Mercedes were just like, no, we need to have more juniors in top tier teams, just as Leclerc and Gasly have been promoted. And they get rid of the one person who they were like, oh yeah, we've got to find a space back on the grid. So he's probably headed to somewhere like Toro Rosso now. For the other seat, could have Hartley, could have had rumours of Buemi coming back after Renault Edams has gone from Formula E, which sounds like a cheese team. Actually, Edam is a type of cheese, so I guess that makes sense. I've seen Jeff Jean-Eric Verne being rumoured as well, but I think he's probably going to be staying with Cheetah. Van Dorn might likely look at going to Toro Rosso. Daniel Kvyat was a very interesting one because he's been rumoured to be going back and leaving Ferrari. It'd be interesting to see where he goes from there as well. Whether he's going to have a Hartley type season or whether he's going to be like he was when he originally came into F1. Then I'm going to talk about now the 2 Mercedes powered teams. So Racing Point Force India and Williams. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes tried to pull the strings to try and get Ocon into one of those 2 teams. We know they tried to get him into McLaren, but McLaren were refusing to do a deal with Mercedes. So I think it's likely that Ocon, if he doesn't stay at Racing Point Force India, which depends on where Checo's going, will either go to Williams or spend a year out of the sport. Because it's unlikely that Haas or Sauber, in my opinion, will choose to take him on. So I reckon he's probably going to go to Williams. Which means that Sorokin might stay in a drive, but it means that people like Marjeppin, who's been rumoured to go into the Williams car, might not get in. It also means we might not see Kubica again, which would be a shame. But that would mean Racing Point Force India would probably be Checo and Lance Stroll, which is what we're expecting at this point. Checo might also go to Haas, though I'm pretty sure they're going to keep their lineup. I know there are rumours saying they might drop Grosjean, but Grosjean's been with the team since the beginning. And I know F1 doesn't necessarily reward loyalty unless you're someone like Mercedes or Red Bull or Ferrari, but I reckon Haas will, just from the nature of the team. Which leaves us with Sauber. Now, Sauber are in an interesting situation because essentially Ferrari gets choice over one of the drivers. Now, when I did my video on Tuesday, my understanding was that Kimi was the Ferrari choice. However, developments have come up with rumours of Kimi potentially being a part owner of the Sauber team, which make me think that he's Sauber's choice. So he was told by Ferrari, you're going to go, and he went to Sauber, can I have a drive? They're like, yeah. which would make sense. He's going to be bringing in a fair bit of sponsorship money, but that might mean that Ericsson goes. Ericsson might stay, but if he doesn't, I reckon it'll be Giovinazzi going into the seat. Well, you know what? Let's say here's another wildcard rumour. Daniel Kvyat into the Sauber. Because, you know, he might be going into the Ferrari programme that way. Instead of going back into the junior Red Bull in Toro Rosso, he might be going into what's essentially a Ferrari B team at this point. Or a Ferrari C team, if you're going to say the Haas is the B team. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the silly season. If you have any other suggestions, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Check out some of my other videos on this channel. In particular, if you wanted to look at ones about F1, I've done ones on Ricciardo, I've done a couple on Alonso, I've done some on Hamilton. You can check some of them out down below as well. So thank you. I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.